Welcome to Next Gen Tech Talk. We are all set to have a insightful conversation with Sarthak Singh and his journey and hands-on experience around the world of AI. So
Yeah.
Sarthak, how are you doing today?
Ashok, thank you for calling me here. I'm doing great. It's a weekend. Chill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So before we start with the actual questions, Sarthak, um, can you tell me or can you share your, previous journey, like before as a ML engineer, what you were up to?
Okay. So actually, I have 1.5 years experience. So when I got into the industry, I got into industry as a machine learning engineer. So before machine learning engineer, I had no previous experience apart from the projects which I was building and all. So yeah, I started out as a machine learning engineer, but after getting into machine learning, later on I got into backend, somewhat of DevOps, because we work in a startup environment. So
Hmm.
it is important for me to understand all those things because we're a small team. So it is necessary that at the time of unavailability of someone, I can I should be able to handle other things as well. So yeah. So that was my journey in this industry. First, I got into machine learning, then I took in all the other experiences.
Okay. Very nice, Sarthak. I must say that you are doing well. So let's have few questions. I am very uh, hopeful that this conversation is going to give many more insight full information around the AI to viewers. Okay. So be cool, whatever the truth and the hands-on exposure you have, so just try to talk about around that. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the first question I have is, what's one machine learning use case you have worked on that looked simple on paper? When I'm saying on paper means while you were discussing as a business case, somebody has given to you, and then that turned out to be a painful complex in reality while into
Yes.
development.
So most of the things which I have, started to develop, it turns out to be, at the time of planning, it feels simple. But when you are into a POC state, it is relatively simple. But when you are pushing it to production grade, that time the complexity actually begins. So for me, the complexity was one personal project which I was building, and one more facial recognition technology which I was building for the company. So when we were building it, initially we took some lighter models and just plug and play system with it.
Hmm.
At that time, the load we were not taking into account the uh, parallel hits it will be getting and the amount of false positive. So we were not testing it. So yeah, we did a POC and we moved further ahead. But later on, when we went into a deeper testing phase. At that time, the real complexity started. The false positive, what is the actual,
Hmm.
metrics of the model which it is getting. And
Hmm.
when then we switched to newer models, then we optimized it, quantized it to work faster. And even after all that, for backend part as well, we needed to optimize the backend as well. We use different techniques like Python forging and uh, very niche level, assembly level. Like we at the time of optimization, we went so deep into optimization. Like when we were dividing it, some places we were dividing it by two, but instead of
Hmm.
dividing at the assembly level, it takes two operations to perform. So instead, we
Hmm.
started multiplying by 0.5. So that level of optimization we had to go to get the output. So yeah, everything starts out relatively simple on paper, but when we were into the pushing it to
It turned into
production,
the
everything
complexity.
feels complex. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I understand because selection of model is one part, but while working with the data, once there will be a load, while you are experiencing the actual use case. That point of time you see the observation, right? Which we're
Yes.
supposed to fix, whether it's related to the data picked up and processing, and then finally the actual outcome. But
Mm.
in the process of doing all this, what that mean is there will be a user input, right? And then it will be a processing and then the outcome. So while manipulating those data, or maybe processing those data, we struggles a lot, specifically in the production environment and with the load, right?
Yes.
Having one use case with one user, sometime it works. But to suppose, as you have given taken an example, even face recognition, if you like one person is doing the face recognition with the device. Now imagine on the same server, you are authenticating millions of user, right? Or maybe thousands of user. So in that case we need to handle all those exceptions, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, you want to say something?
Nah, just I recall like the model which the exceptional cases handling in machine learning is very different, right? It is just a machine learning model. So like I still know that my model which we build it fails on twins. It performs less on dark colored skin data because the
Hmm.
data set also matters, right? So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, I'm sure. Okay. So, just a follow-up question. From your experience, what is the biggest misconception people have about AI replacing jobs?
Um, the biggest misconception according to me would be like
Mm-hmm,
personally, I think AI currently is just a tool, and
mm-hmm,
it cannot replace some job. If it even if it is replacing, it is losing its essence. Like I will explain. For example,
mm-hmm,
writing jobs and art jobs, like where people are, being creative, the jobs which are related to creativity. Personally, even I'm an artist kind of like I like drawing and doing such things. So
mm-hmm,
when I say it loses its essence, it means what is if I say a machine learning model is generating an image, so it is generating an image based on what it has been trained on past. But when we look at an image, for example, if you take the image generated by image which was drawn by Leonardo da
mm-hmm,
Vinci, Mona Lisa, and all, it is
mm-hmm,
special not because it is something very unique image. It is special because it's old. It has been drawn by Leonardo da Vinci. The person has history, it is associated with it. But when an AI generates that same image, it might be able to replicate it, but it will be, not able to get that depth to it. So
mm-hmm,
that kind of things I think about AI replacing jobs. Like the depth will be lost. And for us developers perspective, I'm saying about the developers perspective, AI
mm-hmm,
is still a tool to us. When we are developing some small project or even a medium scale project, AI has enough context ability to, uh, you know, build it better than a whole team. It can
mm-hmm,
develop a medium scale project better than a whole team. But currently, I'm working on a very, large project. It is microservice architecture based project, so it has lots of different repos and connections to run on that architecture. So
mm-hmm.
when we try to use Claude over that large of a project now, so it fails. I have tried using something, so it fails because of context language. So but if I use it as a tool and prompt it properly, it will work. So yeah, I think that AI is a tool, but it will
Mm-hmm.
not replace jobs as of now.
Yeah, because uh, and end of the day, user, or you can say the user or human, they are the rider, right? They only know that what outcome they are looking for, and every time that is getting changed, right? So proper input, and then on the basis of those input the machine process, right? The algorithm we have written or we have chosen, correct? And over the period, this has to be in line with what actual outcome we are looking for, correct? Next question is, what should today's engineer learn if they want to stay relevant in an AI native world?
Well, according to me, what should currently engineers learn is they should
Mm-hmm.
just like I mentioned previously. There is also one more saying that was going around, when ChatGPT got very hyped up that
Mm-hmm.
your job will not be replaced by an AI, it will be replaced by someone who is using AI. So to be relevant in this AI industry, what I think is one must learn the technologies, the latest technologies which have come up, because AI will assist you into using those, but it cannot research that properly. We still know that latest data it is not being trained on. So
Mm-hmm.
it has not, for example, if I'm using Python for a backend, okay. So AI has lots of, it has been trained on Stack Overflow, so it can do that. But if I'm using newer technologies like Bun, it is very
Mm-hmm.
faster than Python, basic Python. So I need to learn, have knowledge of what are the latest technologies, what are the best practices, and plus I should be able to code well, because when the AI is generating something,
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to understand that, like, yeah, is this okay or not? If don't have a coding background, or if I don't know coding, then it will be hard for me. So yeah, for the newer developers, newer people to stay relative in AI native field, I think they should focus more on learning the technologies, what are the upcoming technologies, what are the latest models, and use AI for as assistance.
Yeah, and especially specifically where to apply, right? AI.
Yes.
That is also very
Mm.
important.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so I have another set of question for you, Sarthak. What excites you the most about the future of AI, and what genuinely worries you?
Okay. Well, what excites me is the fact that research and everything is now AI assisted.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm,
the rate at which the world is, going ahead
mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm,
increasing drastically because of AI. So I am very, curious to see where it will go. Like in what fields like AI got into agriculture, AI got into politics, AI got into rocket science. So AI
mm,
got into Formula One, like that kind of thing. So everything is growing at an exponential rate right now. So I am very curious to see where the world will be
mm-hmm,
in very some time. And what worries me is genuinely, recently yesterday night I was watching a video of, Wall Street and all, like the AI bubble and all, which has been hyped up finances,
mm,
and the leaders of this world, who people who are on the upper management, they don't know what is AI. We as a developers understand what is AI. We understand, how it works. We know the reality, but in the upper higher management, the hype is very different. No one really knows there what is going on and what is actually being done, and they are just, making random claims on AI that we will do this, we'll do that, we'll create jobs and this and all. And the finances are, also getting very riled up because of, because investors, you have to interest the investors. Like a recent scenario, OpenAI and Oracle and Microsoft, they are investing into each other and circulating money and showing investors and getting finances, and they're getting rich. But ground truth, when we see, and I personally see as an AI engineer, I look at it like, what is going on? So that really worries me, like lack of knowledge with the upper management of AI. That really worries me.
yeah, I can connect with what you are saying, Sarthak. You know what happens? There is a word called competitions, right? So once you are in a business, so business leaders, they see where world is going on from the business perspective, what their competitor is talking about. So considering that there is a marketing buzz they have created around their
Yes.
product or offering, so they wanted to write something over there to connect or maybe in be in the race of AI. So what that means is we are also using AI to solve problems, but the actual worry is we are not crafting, right, not crafting this solution where we are plugging AI, where we are building the logic, because there will be business logic always, right? And there will be some flow according to your use case. But
Yes.
what important is what AI component you are using is. So for example, you are simply introducing a bot. So now, earlier there was a conversation between customer care executive and the customer. Now you are replacing with a bot. So you can say that, hey, I'm using the AI and I am just eliminating few of the humans, just to cut down the cost, number one. Number two, availability. So even 24 into 7 someone can have a conversation is a bot, right? So this is the plus point. So while we are talking about utilizing AI or getting into the AI, so we need to understand that what problem we are solving, right? So suppose different uh, domain, different type of businesses, companies, we all need to understand that where we want to go in line with our business line. So this is important. And I can understand. I think most of the time, even I talk to people and they say that, okay, why we are not build the efficiency utilizing the AI. Now, point is how much, how we are going to define those numbers, correct?
Yes.
So this is a very lengthy discussion, and good to hear that youngster like you can sense all these type of worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. One sentence for next generation. What
Okay.
should they build and what should they avoid?
Okay. So, what should they build? Personally, yeah, just a second. I was reading this book,
Mm-hmm.
Still Like an Artist. I just recalled, and
Mm-hmm.
few days back I was reading this, and in this chapter, can you read it? To read. So yeah, so
Oh.
it suddenly clicked me. Like this
Uh-huh.
writer, what he was saying was basically you should do the things. It is not just about, writing. It's about like you should do the things which you want to use. So
Right.
personally, if I look back to my college days, na, so what I
Mm-hmm.
was developing for, for resume and all, they were very like something just copy paste and from here. And I personally was had no interest in those things, whatever I was building. But currently, like right now, I'm building a small, voice based access control for my room,
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't want to get up and turn
Excellent.
off the light and get to my bed. So I just
Mm-hmm.
got curious how much my one friend was in IoT, so he has that device which is can be connected via internet, so to the
Yeah,
switch.
your Wi-Fi.
So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, what if it is voice control, and what if I use it as a a chatbot kind of, and like a voice controlled room it will become, and
Mm-hmm.
I can even ask it questions. So this was something that I wanted to build. So I am very much interested into building it because I want to use it. So
Mm-hmm.
my advice would be right same which the author said, like build the thing that you want to use. You will have the interest, you will have the
Perfect.
motivation to build it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. I think building anything which is very interesting and meaningful, right?
Hmm.
Interesting means the same you have articulated that what I want to achieve or want to use, right? Number two, it should be meaningful. Maybe
Yes.
solving one of the other problems. So that we should definitely build. But how you are going to articulate the avoid part, or just say that okay,
I
apart from this, everything you should avoid.
avoid what they should avoid.
Hmm.
Hmm. Like something that has been already, very much built and very much researched on, basically. Something like that, I guess it should be avoided, because if it has already been like, if wheel has been already discovered, why should I discover wheel again? Kind of like that. If it has been built,
Okay.
like I will build over it. kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if speech to text model has already been built, Whisper, it is working fine. So I will not I'll not build a speech to text model. I will build my project over the speech to text model while using it or understanding it. Yeah, something like that.
Understood. So maybe you are referring to build and buy. So whenever you think that something is already available, whether it's a open source or we're supposed to pay some money, so we should just utilize to speed up your work.
Yes.
There is no need to reinvent the same wheel because it's just a wastage of money and time. Correct?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, exactly what you just said.
Okay, great. I'm very happy to hear all these responses, Sarthak, and your understanding around technology, plus the way we are moving day by day ahead, without knowing the grassroots level problems and the outcome. So I think. I'm happy because this platform where I have thought of having a conversation with youngster or young professionals. So that was the idea to understand that whether we are, doing hands-on or we are experiencing the right things or not. So if youngster like you have a greater clarity, I think we are doing good. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you decide whether a problem even needs machine learning? So you remember the earlier question we were talking about the selection of model and all, or maybe where to use AI and all. So this is a specific question for you. How do you decide whether a problem needs machine learning?
Okay. So things like, when the problem, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
problem is, and the solution to that is, very vague, suppose, like even humans might confuse something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If it is something very relatively simple, like I say, like for example, the room project which is going on in my mind, I will just say, suppose I just want to make a turn off command. I can just say turn off, and I can make a, just a pure backend to,
Mm-hmm.
catch that frequency, and might have a range. I'm just, saying it.
Yeah,
So
just an
it might have
example. Yeah.
a range, and just it will detect like yes or no, and it might turn off or not turn it off, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I, go into a wider range, turn off or like multiple commands where I can have a conversation with it. So that kind of scenarios where, the border is very blurry. For example, when we were building, uh, what we say, document reader, OCR. We had an OCR API. Let's take it into account first. So
Mm-hmm.
first we were, classifying it. Is this passport? Is this DL, or is this Aadhaar card? So I thought of building a model for that. But eventually
Mm-hmm.
I realized, like, why should I stack models? I can just, do OCR, and based on some common things, we can go ahead with that. So
Mm-hmm.
that problem didn't actually needed machine learning to be done. So
Right.
that kind of scenarios. One more scenario I just recalled. We
Mm-hmm.
were developing some, entry scenario. The project is in my project at the company. So
Mm-hmm.
a person can be a multiple types. Like he can be an employee, student, guardian, kind of like that. So we were using a for loop to looping over that person over
Mm-hmm.
all those user types and getting the output as true or false. So I thought of developing, a machine learning model for it, like which will be the most relevant for this person
Mm-hmm.
based on his previous check-in, something like that. But it failed drastically. My machine learning model was bet by a for loop. So that kind of
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, I prefer
Mm-hmm.
using machine learning or backend. That is my understanding
Okay.
as of now.
Okay. 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 I think doing work differently is not the problem. If you are reaching to the same similar outcome or faster than others, definitely that works, right? So
Yes.
keep doing this different type of approach to solve the problem, Sarthak. Okay, so maybe we are moving towards the end of this, conversation. Last question I have is very, curious one for me. If your model could talk back, what do you think it would complain about?
Very interesting question. So, if my model could talk back, what it would complain about? So, for example, if I take some project which I was doing in my company, it was
Mhm,
a fast tag detection model kind of.
mhm,
So I was working alone on that company and the data set was not available anywhere. Okay, because
mhm,
images of hashtag, like why will someone share that? So we had
mhm,
to collect data for that and all. So I was working alone on that project. I had to label the data, I had to train the data multiple times, different scenarios, different algorithms, and it was, very tiresome and I had a deadline to meet. So I was just, labeling data very vaguely and just pushing it for the training. So that time I understood that my model is complaining, please clean the data or please label the data properly. So that scenario, that
mhm,
is what mostly my model would complain. And one more time when I was building the facial recognition, we finally got the model working fine, but
mm,
we did not provide it a good backend. Like we did not optimize it via for GPU first. We did not quantize it, and also like we have a good model, but we have a very bad
mhm,
backend. And it was asynchronous. We were
mm.
using Flask at that time. We then later switched to
Okay.
Fast API for asynchronous uh, code programming, right? So that
Mhm.
time the model might be complaining like, okay, you have built me, but please give me some good structure to stand on. That kind of complaints my model would be
Wow.
giving.
Wow. So yeah, so that means that one of the another machine learning developer or engineer, they might be having this type of interaction with the models, right? Where model is
Yes.
complaining about what is happening. Okay. Well, excellent, Sarthak. I think this conversation session definitely is going to give some insight to the viewers.
Mm,
Specifically, I'm assuming that engineers who are building their career in the universities or maybe early stage, they have just entered to the world of development and they are struggling. They are looking for some site of some sort of insight. So I think that is going to help. And maybe once viewers will start viewing this conversation, they can post their questions. Further question, we will answer there. So guys, do collaborate. I think this is how we are going to learn new things, and specifically we can answer our questions, which is even coming in our mind, which is not appropriate for the solutioning or maybe any perfect outcome, but at least we'll be able to solve our questions and problems which is coming towards even during the development phase. So well, thank you, Sarthak, thank you very much joining us on this
yeah.
conversation. Good luck for
Thank you
your
so much for having me.
future. Yeah, thank you.